No cliches. Let's just get right to it. Ian, tell me what happened on Saturday.
Uh, well, Justin, I could basically sum the game up pretty quickly by saying this was nearly a carbon copy of the Eagle game in Philly. The Dolphins are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. I made a note then asking when do the Cowboys prove their winning identity, and unfortunately, it seems their identity is a mistake-prone team. We've all heard the stat going on after this game regarding this McCarthy team. They are the second most penalized team in the league. But to me, that's just a red herring. Rather, the real culprit is the red zone woes as evident by the first offensive possession. The game began with a nice 15-play drive down to the one but a Lepke fumble spared the Dolphins. Miami then flipped the field thanks to a 50-yard completion to Jalen Waddle and ended the drive with the first of 3 50-yard or more field goals by their player of the game, Jason Sanders. The Cowboys responded well with a 49-yard catch and run by CD Lamb, but this would be their only output of the half. The defense left stranded would surrender 10 before halftime, leaving the boys trailing 13-7. Unlike in Buffalo and unlike Tua Tag No Swag, the Cowboys made plays in the second half to take over the game. But as previously mentioned, they got in their own way and stalled. Negative plays, penalties, and poor blocking forced the Cowboys to trade field goals after entering the Miami red zone twice, making the score 19-13. After the defense recorded its first sack, the offense finally had their big boy drive, converting 4 times, culminating with a Brandon Cooks touchdown to take the lead 20-19. However, with under 4 to play, Miami was able to make enough plays. I'm looking at the refs on that one, and kick the winner as time expired. So, fellas, as you can tell from my recap and what I gathered after my second viewing of this Cowboy game, I'm kind of prone to let the defense off the hook and focus more blame on the offense, not for any individual. There's plenty of culprits regarding the O-line, McCarthy, some might even say Dak, or the run game. But I'm just thinking that the offensive mistakes left the defense, like I said, stranded. I was wondering what your thoughts are regarding that game.
Yeah.
And my take.
Yeah, my blame is definitely sitting more on McCarthy, not Dak at all, really, and the run game. You can look at the offensive line as well. While Vic Fangio's defense did blitz some, they were getting in the backfield with 4-man rushes. My guy McCarthy, he sees CD Lamb's going crazy on the first 2 possessions. He's like, you know what? I won't get him the ball until like our 8th drive. Just don't even worry about it. I don't want to go back to it. Mind you, I'll grant him 2 possessions where we start within our own 5. Fine. But you also had the ball other times, and you were like, I'm not going to give him the ball anymore. In one of those, I think we did our classic 2 runs, then 3rd down pass, and then punt. So I look more at McCarthy. That's so ridiculous, man. Some people are, pointing out Vic Fangio kind of has the Cowboys number or Dak's number and point to that game in Denver a few years ago. But my goodness, then do something else, like run some motion so you know where the defense is setting up. Jalen Ramsey did not follow CD Lamb. So, you can pick your poison. Do something else.
I disagree. I think this is solely on the defense. That team didn't win the field position battle at all. And the fact that y'all want to bow up no, you know what? I think Tua left them off the hook, bro. That dude was missing throws left and right when it mattered most. And that's the only reason why half the time they would settle for a field goal, if we're being honest, because of a Tua mailing the ball or something like that.
I can agree with that. I mean, it started in the first drive they had where he doesn't connect with Tyreek Hill, and then drives ended later on where I think it was like a 5-and-out for Tyreek Hill.
Well, he misses it's just like Justin said, basically every field goal they had was due to Tua stinking it up.
Well, I will say the one thing that our defense did do, which they didn't do last week, or 2 weeks ago in Buffalo. Was that 2 weeks ago in Buffalo?
Yes.
1 week ago. We actually stopped the run against a team that's actually known for running the ball. So, I mean, Look, they weren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but like Ian said in his monologue, we let them off the hook. And I think that starts with our offense as well. Like, we could have done so much more than what we did do.
You got a chance to, like, talk about, again, not winning field position. You got him pinned at the 1, and you let Waddle.
But Justin, can we not say that's just a good play by? I don't know. I mean, that's on Gilmore. I can't. I want to agree with you, but also just sometimes the other team makes plays too.
Donovan Wilson, but my point is, bro.
Okay, no.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why, like, your offense kind of stalled here and there. How about the defense makes a stop that isn't in the opponent's territory for once? Like, and this is the marquee of the defense to make big plays, whether it be a sack or a fumble. How about you step up and make a play? And you got the chance to game on the line. You start off the drive, Hooker just completely overruns the screen, and then Clark gets a face mask. Give him a cheap 20 yards to start the drive. Come on, bro. Yeah. Like, I know, like, the offense was, like, non-existent the second and third quarter, but, like, I feel like this game was going to be a stinker of a game of two, like, just trading blows left and right. And
okay, well, real quick. So, one, my criticism of the offense doesn't mean the defense is off the hook. They definitely should have played better. You just mentioned a few examples right there that were atrocious. But there's no way. I guess you say it's a stinker, but I feel like if you knew coming into this week that Miami's going to score 22 points at home, you hold them to 22. You should win that game. Offensively, we didn't do enough.
Yeah, I think you guys make a lot of good points. Justin, I would say also throw in the special teams. You mentioned not winning the field position, but I think that had a lot to do with special teams. Turpin for one, and then maybe just punt coverage, just not making tackles, letting Barrios, I don't know, get that man, what's his face, baby KK hyped for a 5-yard return, because that shit was annoying as hell, but it happened frequently. I mean, I will also offer you this, Justin. The defense did have a red zone stop at the goal line in the first half to keep it 7-3. And then, Rudy, I'll just go back to you. So during the game, when the second and third quarter, when the offense was doing nothing, you're right. They did have very bad field position within their own 5 twice out of 3 of those possessions, and the only one where they really just left food on the table was that 3 and out right before the first half ended. So in a way, it might even be worse than just one team not playing well, like one side of the ball not playing well. It almost, to me, might even sound like just this team just as a whole can't lift the other side up, which might even be a bigger problem or bigger issue going forward into the playoffs. But I will say this. Last week we talked about Buffalo. We were looking for them to make big plays, take advantage. Now, I won't say they actually took advantage when they had that roughing the passer penalty on Dak when they had the bad field position. They didn't really do that. But they did make big plays, like I already mentioned, the 4th down stop, the big play to Tolbert, and also the CeeDee Lamb touchdown catch and run. Those were big plays that they didn't do in Buffalo. So it is, in a way, no moral victories, but
if I were to have confidence in the group going forward, it would be the offense over the defense.
Well, that's the thing, though, right?
Well, that's what we've been saying, too.
Ian just mentioned the Tolbert play. Well, what happens on that drive? Dak scrambles out. We get it first, but there's an illegal shift, and so the play gets called back. And so we shoot ourselves in the foot.
And can I also say that, too, before that play, I think they run a Michael Gallup screen, which if we can look at McCarthy – look at McCarthy. Yes. So we're going backwards right after that big play, and then like Rudy said, there's the illegal shift, which kind of gets a 3rd and 15, and then the drive after that is the Udoga sees the man sees Chubb rushing, and then just says, that's all right, and that gets pressure, and we have to settle for 3.
Yeah, no, awful. And the thing, too, that I also want to point out is that we also had, like, DeMarcus Lawrence stepping up in the run game, getting in the backfield multiple times. You had Jordan Lewis making plays, too. So while, we could have stopped Miami on, kept them from getting 3 points, we can't crap on us for allowing 3 points and then say the offense is good for getting 3 points at the same time.
To go back to my earlier point, though, of trusting this offense more than the defense going forward, I feel like you could explain away some of the poo-poo, especially some of the ridiculousness the last two games with the whole Tyron Smith injury. And
yeah, that is a good point.
I feel like for the defense, there ain't no injury I can explain away, or at least someone that's coming back that can be like, oh, this will solve the problem. What you got is what you got.
Real quick, Ian, I guess when you say trust or like rely on, I guess we're kind of having like two different viewpoints of it. Because I would definitely say, you know, having the ball in Dak's hands makes me more comfortable than seeing my defense get a stop. But I almost need my defense to at least be average for my offense to have a chance sometimes.
I don't think they've been average, though.
You held Miami to 22 points. Like, they allowed field goals, and that's what we're mad about. Not touchdowns, not Tyreek beating you deep. And again, Curse ain't been great, and neither is Donovan Wilson.
I think you're reading the box score a little bit too much for me.
No. I watched the game today.
Look, I will say this. Tua left a lot of meat on the bone, and I remember making these notes. And basically, every time they settled for a field goal, it was because Tua made a bad throw or bad read or whatever was on the same page. That's him at home. So, kind of like I said, they are who we thought they were. But I also want to go to this about it kind of goes back to Tyron Smith. I need these role players, you know, Lepke, the linebacker, safeties, Turpin. I need them to have confidence or something. Now Turpin, yeah, him too. But now Turpin, to be fair, he did, you know, he had a bad return game, but he was key in the go-ahead touchdown drive with the hold he got. It was a really nice route by him. At least I thought so. But Lepke, man, like even that first drive, I know they were feeding him. That man showed no confidence throughout the entire game. And maybe this is a little bit revisionist because we all know what happened on that first drive. But I mean, come on, I need somebody to step up. That's a role player.
Yeah, don't forget the highlight that Dak had because old boy can't pick up the blitzing linebacker right in front of him. So,
man, well, what a shame that we let that Dak. I mean, that was a really nice Dak performance, and it goes swept under the rug just because, you know.
Get ready because Rico Dotto already ruled out for Saturday's game. So
we're going to have a new approach to third and short situation. Just hand the ball to CD Lamb. I know that's not the conventional thought. You handed it to him on the first drive out of the backfield. He picks up like 9 right there.
Speaking of short yardage, I might have to throw off. I don't even know what. I don't have enough flags to throw on this because Tony Pollard, to go back to the first drive, which might even be the moment we lost the game, is because Tony Pollard gets a pitch to the outside.
No, but it sucked. Not
sees a pylon and decides to say, hey, you know what? Let me lower the shoulder and get knocked backwards because I ain't strong enough. I mean,
that goes. He heard y'all's criticism. He was like, "Oh, they want me to be Zeke, so let me be Zeke." Instead of letting Tony be Tony, had you changed your tone, he might have gone pylon.
You're telling me that man has that little confidence in himself.
That was truly amazing.
He's a big listener.
Rudy, as someone described it to me, that was like a Madden glitch.
It was bad.
The way that man somehow
at least there I can explain it.
It was bad. It was bad. That was terrible. I hated that.
All right.
I hated
Well, Justin, I know we've had conversations about this, but I think this is also a good moment. You mentioned the defense, but the linebackers and safeties. I mean, if it wasn't for Tua stinking it up, you know, when they were driving the Cowboys territory, there needs, I don't know, they could have been, they're getting kind of lucky, I think, with only surrendering 22 points and maybe getting let off the hook.
Bro, I'm telling you, dude, the angles that these linebackers and safeties take, it's atrocious, bro. You could teach a clinic of what not to do, by the way, especially not to rag on the man, but Damone Clark, bro. Ugh. I'm telling you, bro, I need a first-round linebacker or a first-round running back next year. I've had enough because we haven't been developing at all in the linebacker position. I mean, look at it this way. I can't believe, look at it this way. You drafted all these linebackers these last couple of years and, like, the outside, the the second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever round, and like literally you got rid of all of them because it didn't develop. And like you're like, oh, let's move Marquise Bell to linebacker. That's the solution. And granted, they kind of got screwed with the Overshown injury, but like
Overshown and Layden.
But like I can't. That's like relying on Tyron.
Well, I don't think they're relying on Marquise Bell. They had to settle for
LVE to stay healthy, bro. Like no disrespect to him, but
that's a good point too.
Although, aren't we doing that right now, where we kind of do need Tyron back in the lineup?
Exactly. I think I was talking about confidence in these role players, and they're not having confidence. But also, why is this personnel decision so confident in injury prone players with LVE, now Tyron Smith? I mean,
yeah,
I feel like we had these conversations a lot this season.
I agree. And then I think you also got to look at – and we had confidence based off last season's results in Javon Curse. And
that's another dude that can go ahead and take a seat if you ask me.
He ain't done enough this year. And then you can look at Tamu, Donovan Wilson as well.
It just can't cover it, in my opinion.
It's rough, man. It is rough right now between those three, adding Damone Clark, like you mentioned, and Bell ain't been perfect, even though he had a hot start to the season. And then Justin, side note, I think it's funny you said we need to draft a linebacker or a running back in the first round, because I know them analytic dudes would hear that and have a conniption.
I'm sorry, especially with the way that this team is built and like for the window that they have. I kind of need it, bro, because this is too many times this season. Like, you can't just sit there and look at Baltimore and see what Roquan Smith has done for that defense and be like, oh, yeah, linebackers aren't valuable. Like, give me a break, bro. Like, get you a stud. I mean, granted, I don't think there's anybody like Roquan Smith in this draft right now. But still, like, the fact that we keep Damone Clark, bro, he ain't it. You just don't have any linebacker depth at all. Like, you got rid of Harper. You got rid of Cox. They apparently weren't good enough. Those are people that you invested draft capital in, expecting them to be like, forget special teams, just like depth pieces, like where we have now, where LVE's out, and you got rid of them because maybe they just weren't good enough. Like, we can't keep playing. I'm tired. Like, if there's one thing that like Dan Quinn needs to take some heat for, it's just like overinvestment in. I'll have the versatile safety. Fill in the gaps. Like,
do you think that's Dan Quinn, or do you think that's head coach going, I need more offensive pieces?
No,
and Dan Quinn's
that's,
like, all right, fine,
I think that's
settle.
Dan Quinn, bro. I think Dan Quinn be wanting to have all those safeties on the roster and thinking,
you mentioned Roquan Smith. I don't know who's an upcoming free agent, but good Lord, I'd be so happy if there's a good linebacker that someone doesn't want to pay and we can give up a second-round pick, because that was what Roquan got right.
I don't think
a fifth.
I think the Jones boys already have their money slotted to who they want to give it to. So
that's another problem.
This team is,
but I don't want to be that guy who's like the thing that's holding us back, or the Jones.
I don't think it is, but like that's reality, bro. Their money is allocated already. So
that's fair. I get you.
All right, if there was a team that I feel like, given expectations and results on the play, that should be more concerned than the Cowboys, I would say it's them boys up I-35 in Kansas City. Because, boy, what an embarrassment at home to the Raiders, who quietly still have a play for the division because of that game somehow.
Hey, the pads be popping.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce. Returning
the
energy, returning the great name back to the Raiders franchise after that stink in the building the past two regimes.
I forget the year, but it's like the first team to have two back-to-back defensive touchdowns in decades. Like, that team does be hidden.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could give Raiders the props, but let's just go to the comedy of the Chiefs of. I think the touchdown before it all went to hell in the handbasket for them, the touchdown play they had to Pacheco, everyone was just like, "Oh, it's the same old Chiefs, bro. This is the nice play. Look at them." And then the next time they get the ball, they do another little gimmicky play, and it's a scoop and score for the Raiders, which, wow, that was hilarious. And then they get back out on the field and they throw a pick six. I mean, and they're playing at home too, so the crowd just goes absolutely quiet. And it just turned the game on its head. And I just thought, dang, the football gods be smiling on me and the Raiders for that little sequence right there.
Bro, that dude Pierce cutting promos halftime too. Talking about we need to stomp him out or choke him out or something like that. And I'm telling you, bro, that man better get the hire just to see what would happen. I just need to see it for a year.
He's a culture builder. That definitely would be a much needed. What's the word I'm looking? They need that. They need that facelift right there. They need Antonio Pierce in that locker room for the duration of next season and further on.
Somehow that secondary went from last year being a disaster to that low key kind of maybe the strength of the team, low key, but. That's neither here nor there, but
I know you like a cornerback with the number 18, so that works out for you.
Yeah, that dude. I mean, I didn't realize that was Jack Jones from the Patriots. So shout out to him, even though I discredited him last week.
Jack Jones.
That man. I'm going to pretend that he was trying to troll those kids, but that credit to that man. He set the narrative straight, and the video backs it up. But
I almost wish he didn't. Yeah, I know. And for those who haven't seen it, essentially, Jack Jones, he's like putting the ball out to like some kid in the section. He's in there. He's there in the crowd. And some nerd Chief fans like trying to grab it, and so he pulls it away. But I liked it more when the idea was that Jack Jones was like, "Nope,
and
give me
the
that."
psych.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, speaking of another cornerback trolling, Ian, I know we asked the question a couple of weeks ago. What on earth has been happening to Jaire Alexander?
Man, help him.
But that man might be done in the pack because.
Oh my!
I'm gonna let you kick this off, Ian. What was your biggest takeaway from that stunting that man was pulling?
Yeah, so the stunt Justin's referring to is the man going out to the coin toss to be a captain and basically taking the reins of calling the toss and almost kind of butchering it in a way. But apparently his argument was, hey, I'm in Charlotte. They know me there.
It's only suiting, I don't think Coach knew I was from Charlotte, so.
So you just did that on your own?
I mean, it was like the guys backed me up,
So that was his justification.
Coach didn't know. He must not have known I'm from Charlotte.
Yeah, and his explanation is 10 times funnier because the local reporters are basically trying to guilt him into him hurting the team, and they're doing their best White House investigation on him, basically pretending like he's a man just embezzled funds. And Jaire just obviously don't give a damn because he's got the shades on and whatnot. And he's just saying, man, it was pretty obvious what I was asking for. I wanted us the defense to go on out there, man. What's the big deal? Everyone knew what I was talking about.
I told him that I said I want our defense to be out there, and they all looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, it's pretty simple what I said. Like I want the defense to be out there.
So I think he handled that press conference 10 out of 10 and handled the situation 10 out of 10. And I don't know what to say. I'm going to miss him in a pack uniform, but hey, keep it coming, Jaire, even though you're going to be benched for the next game.
Yeah, the man got suspended, and essentially he asked to kick, and you got to be all technical with the NFL and said you're supposed to say defer and whatnot because it could lead to a situation where you kick both halves, and the man got suspended also because he wasn't a captain and went out there too. I don't see. Okay, why not just fine him though? Like suspending him.
That man they probably fed up with his antics. That was probably the last straw.
I've never heard that story though that he was kind of a troublemaker.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on in that locker room. It's the pack, bro. It's not like they get. I mean, they marquee franchise, but it ain't like they get like national coverage without your boy Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca running the show.
I've been in that city. He probably got in trouble just for like eating dinner at 2 a.m. or something. Like they be hating everything in that small town.
It's pretty obvious what I was asking for. I don't know why they're laughing. What makes it even more funny is his little high pitched voice that just.
No, he was just like defer. I was like, yeah. Everybody was like, yeah. Everybody was laughing. I'm like, what y'all laughing at? Like, it's pretty obvious what I'm asking for.
Oh my goodness. Hey, if they want to get rid of him, bring him to Dallas. We too broke.
Yeah, that man should get a healthy contract regardless if he gets cut or not. Like,
I can see him ending up in Vegas with the Raiders.
Bro, you talking about broke, but
I would love that.
Speaking of a show, let's talk a little 49ers Baltimore because the show done blew up on old Purdy. That man threw 4 picks, and bro, your boy Debo, little salty, which I get it. I respect it a little bit, but I'm tired of this narrative that all of a sudden now Lamar is the MVP just because they won. Lamar's stats don't lie, and don't get me wrong, we all know how much of a Baltimore podcast this podcast is, but if we're just go ahead. Rudy.
So this is interesting.
Okay. So here's Ian, go.
Well, let me just say this, then I'll toss it over to Rudy real fast because Justin just mentioned his stats, and I believe not 30 minutes ago the man said, "Don't be box score watching." So I mean, there's plenty of plays that just go ignored.
Let's be honest, bro. That man, Lamar benefiting from having them 2 primetime games that he finally desperately needed 2 weeks in a row. And let's be honest, he's had some stinkeroos that have just lived on noon, but they won. So like, no one really like.
Well, that's okay, but that's the thing, right? So this is an award that's given by the media, right? And them boys, I remember when we lost in Buffalo, and they're like, Dak's out of the race. Dak's just out of the race. You know, at times it's really not a whole season long thing. It's okay, you were solid for a lot of it, and then you went off when we needed you to. And the media is who they are. And so honestly, it makes me feel good knowing that, and I don't know that everyone thinks that way, that Brock Purdy's completely out. But I need him to be out. I was sick of him even being there. And so as long as I know the favorite in Vegas is now Lamar, good. Thank God. I was sick of hearing about Brock Purdy. Dump off boy. McCaffrey. Dude, they took out Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold led the offense down much better, much smoother, scored touchdown. Get this guy out of here. No, I am sick of it. Brock Purdy, perfectly fine. And you mentioned 4 interceptions. Should have been 5. You got Darby dropping an interception. It should have been 5. I'm sick of that guy. I'm sick of it. And it's not because of him. It's because of everyone out there who praised him for every little thing he ever did.
So why can't it be Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill?
I'm not opposed to either of those two. I'm just glad that Brock Purdy is out.
As Rudy said in the beginning, this is a media award. So, Justin, come on now. Let's be realistic.
Justin, they have a narrative that no player can possibly be more valuable than a quarterback, regardless of what they do.
Just as the pads got smaller over the years, the brain IQ did as well from the media. Because, bro, unacceptable that it has to be a quarterback. That's stupid. Like, I can't believe that dude Lamar not even going to get 25 passing touchdowns this year. And we talking about the MVP. Like, come on. Like, let's be for real.
Yeah, that game, like, if you watch that game and think that McCaffrey doesn't deserve the MVP award, you shouldn't even be talking about football at all. But hey, as long as it's not Brock Purdy, I'm cool.
I still think I'm going to throw a flag and defend my Ravens because apparently Justin, I don't know, jumping off the bandwagon now that they're getting attention. Come on now. Like, if you watch, I know he doesn't have the stats, which, I mean, since when did we care about that if we're not part of the media.
Ian, I know what you're about to say.
Making plays on his feet, extending drives, bro. He's making MVP plays.
I know that, bro. I know that dude's the team. I get it. But, this sets up a nasty precedent that, this quarterback.
Does it, though?
Yes. This is the line in the sand. If it
I think what a nasty precedent is when you have two MVPs on the same damn team and you're like, bro, I don't know. Who do I choose? It's like, bro, how can they both have most valuable players?
No, because Tom Purdy not a serious candidate. Don't start.
They did have him as a serious candidate.
No, not in my book.
A billion articles written about it.
Not in my book. So
okay, but you're not a voter.
I know, but the fact that
and also this doesn't set the precedent because the precedent was set when you had JJ Watt going crazy and they're like, Cooper Kupp going crazy. I'm trying QB.
I'm trying to win this war, and this is the last stand. If it doesn't happen this year, then we lost the days of when our running back could get an award or the
Justin strapping up his boots
the days
fly off to Iran and be like, I'm ready to fight this war. Be like, hey, bro, we left that a long time
Justin yearns
ago.
for the days of Vietnam.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's 1975, bud.
I can't believe we got a running back that has over 20 plus touchdowns, and the MVP people are just like, what?
I still think you're
enamored with the quarterback.
He's looking at stats.
That man,
no, but at that point, I do get what Justin's saying. Because it's not like Justin's pointing out DVOA or some random acronym that a nerd made up. With our eyes, we saw this guy dominate multiple games and score 2 to 3 touchdowns a game at sometimes. And so, no, I do get what Justin's saying. But,
now, Ian, if I was saying Raheem Mostert should be the MVP because he has 18 touchdowns, or I guess 19
damn
now.
Well, they will never go with that.
Then you could be box score watching. But, how many times have you seen this dude, McCaffrey, set the pace and set the tone for that team? So, I will not allow it. And I will not allow another quarterback to just get some cheap MVP because we're lazy as voters.
I'm looking at the Vegas odds, and they have Tua. They have Tua above Tyreek.
That's
by
absurd,
a large margin.
That's absurd. The Tua-ish. I don't understand that. That man.
You just saw the game. We all saw that game on Saturday. That guy's the MVP, but they have him 4 spots above Tyreek.
Well, even worse too is after that game, they said, "Boy, Tua." What a performance by him in that Cowboy game. It's just all right, we're watching 2 different performances, I guess.
All right, now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Pick'ems. Ian, why don't you let us know how we did last week?
Well, fellas, it was the first time we had a tie across the board, so there was no moves or shakes in the rankings as everybody's...
You're running out of time.
We all finished the week with 6 wins. So I have 108, Justin 104, Rudy 101. Back to you, Woozy.
All right. Yeah, plenty of time. We're not taking L's. We're all starting off Thursday Night Football. The Jets-Browns in Cleveland. We've all chosen the Browns, where it was Jets +7. So no movement is going to be made there. Moving on to Saturday. We've got the Lions traveling to Dallas for some Saturday Night Football. The spread is currently Lions +5.5. Who y'all got?
Give me the Cowboys.
Ooh. Yeah, give me them boys.
I was really hoping you'd take Detroit. All right, clean sweep for them boys. Let's move to Sunday, where we watch the Dolphins go ahead and travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. It is currently Dolphins +3. Who you got?
Baltimore.
Lord, I'm begging. Give me the Ravens to knock them silly.
Clean sweep. All right, moving on. We've got the Patriots taking on a division opponent in the Bills in Buffalo. The current spread is Patriots +13. Who do you got?
I remember last week you told me I had to take that. That's even better. I'll definitely take that +13. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I think Justin got lucky on this one, but also with that type of spread, I'll take the Pats.
Do I do it? I mean, it's a wild spread. It is. Don't get me wrong. Buffalo. No, dadgummit. All right, no movement again, as I am taking the Bill Belichick's in his last hurrah. Always got one more game still. Moving on. We've got the Falcons traveling to Chicago, where the Falcons are given +3 points. Who do you fellas got?
Wow.
Oh, I saw this. I was like, that's so gross. Give me the Falcons, please.
Really? Wow. I'll take the Bears.
I, too, will take the Bears. So, slowly moving into second. Moving on, we've got the Titans traveling to Houston to take on the Texans, where it's currently Titans +5. Who do you got?
All right, so can someone explain this quarterback situation? Is Tannehill starting? And then is Stroud still out?
Wait.
I thought Levis is back.
Stroud cleared protocol. Did Levis get hurt?
He was questionable. I don't know the injury.
He had the Peter Griffin injury 2 weeks ago. So I thought I saw Tannehill out there. I was watching the highlights.
It says Will Levis practiced yesterday.
Nonetheless, give me the Texans.
Ian?
Yeah, give me the Texans.
Oh. All right. Clean sweep for the Lone Star State there. Moving on. We've got the Vegas Raiders traveling to Indy to take on the Colts, where currently Vegas is given 3.5 points. Who do y'all got?
Give me Vegas. Why not?
Didn't their quarterback not complete a pass in the second half?
Yeah, but aren't they playing Minshew? So
They are playing Minshew.
it cancels out.
Absolutely insane. But, yeah, I will also take the Raiders.
Oh, my God. It's getting disgusting. Clean sweep for Vegas. Moving on. We got Carolina. The Panthers are traveling to Jacksonville. And the spread is currently +6 to Carolina. Who you got?
Is Beathard started?
You don't know, say.
Jax.
Justin, you want to throw out your prediction?
I feel like it has to be Jacksonville, no matter how bad they looked last week.
Your boy Wheezy is going opposite of that.
You're gonna take the Panthers?
I'm gonna go ahead and take the 2-win Panthers to cover that spread and gain me some ground.
Bro, if that happens, go ahead and fire Doug Peterson.
Sure. Yeah,
that man can't put 2 consistent years together to save his life.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you can get rid of him. I don't care. Ian?
Dang. I'll take the home team. Give me the Jags.
All right, folks. We did it. We got one on them. Thank you. And it only took me taking the 2-win Panthers. God, dog. All right, moving on. We got the Rams traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the Giants. The Giants are +5.5. Who you got?
Tyrod? No. Give me the Rams.
Can you repeat the spread, Rudy?
+5.5 to the Giants.
Yeah, give me the Rams.
Clean sweep for the Rams. Moving on. Battle of the Birds. We got the Cardinals traveling to Philly to take on the Eagles. Currently, it is +12 to the Cardinals.
Wow.
Give me the Cardinals to cover.
Yep, Cardinals. Too big of a spread.
It's a wild spread.
Did you see them? Did you see them against the Giants, bro?
Oh, I saw it.
Bro, you got to see this Njoku hit. Sorry. Man,
I'm going to go ahead and throw up my dirty birds. Give me the Eagles to cover that. That's abhorrent. I don't know what's going to happen there. All right, divisional matchup here. We got the Saints taking on Tampa Bay in Tampa. The current spread is Saints plus 2.5. Who you got?
Give me the Bucks.
Tampa Keefe.
All right, clean sweep for Tampa. Moving on, we're still in the noon slate somehow. We've got the 49ers traveling to our nation's capital to take on the Commanders, where the Commanders are spotted 13 full points.
Wow.
Who you got?
Sorry. Joku comedy, bro.
Bro, you got rocked.
Oh, my goodness. Go ahead, Rudy. Can you repeat that? I'm so sorry. I got distracted.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's Niners traveling to D.C., take on the Commanders. Commanders plus 13.
Give me the 49ers.
Yep.
All right. Clean sweep
Rudy,
for the Niners there.
Can I entice you with some Jacoby Brissett starting, though? Get you
Not
some
at this point.
nice brisket.
Okay, guy. Moving on.
Painful.
We're now in the 3 o'clock slate. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll be traveling to Seattle, take on the Seahawks. Spread is currently plus 3.5 to the Steelers. Who you got?
Dang.
Give me the Seahawks, I guess.
Yeah.
Do I do it? Is Pickett back, or are we Rudolphin?
Probably
Rudolph, I believe.
It's not Christmas anymore, but I'm going to let Rudolph guide me. Give me the Steelers. Moving on.
I feel like the man was looking for an applause for that line. The way he
I'm
paused.
applauding in my own mind. I don't need y'all. Moving on, we got the Bengals traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. It is currently Bengals plus 7.5. Who you got?
The Bengals.
Yeah. Give me the Bengals.
They done gave me another one. No, they didn't. I'm taking the Bengals. All right, divisional matchup here. Moving on, Chargers and Broncos. We've got the
Gross.
Chargers plus 3.5.
Bro, if this was a primetime game.
I thought it was nearly.
Who do y'all got?
Who is it, 3.5? The Chargers?
Chargers.
Yeah, give me the Chargers.
Give me the Broncos.
I will take the Broncos. And lastly, we have the Packers traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Packers are plus 1 at the moment.
Is this the Sunday night game?
This
Yeah.
would be, yes.
Ugh.
Ugh. Is this going up against?
Who do
Oh,
you
no.
got?
Give me the Vikings.
Give me the Pack.
I will take the Vikings. Looks like Justin's falling behind a little bit. They had a tight game against Carolina. I can't trust them against Minnesota.
Ah,
That was
this guy.